Hello everyone, my name is Xabrios, and yes, X marks the spot. Welcome back to my channel, or more specifically, this is my first video, what am I saying? Today we'll be reacting to a video from The Film Theorist. The video's called Dear Sonic, You Suck at Running. Gonna be honest, I have no idea how does Sonic suck at running. I mean, that's basically his character. That's literally all his character. You're not gonna tell me that Sonic's character is just him. Heck, even his name is based off speed. So I don't know how the heck he sucks at running. But we'll see what MatPat has to say. Yes, I've seen the thumbnail. It's based around the new movie, the new Sonic movie. Not going to lie, that is one of my new favorite movies I've ever seen. And with Jim Carrey playing as Eggman, Jesus, that was a good movie. Anyways, I hope you guys will enjoy my video. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, why don't you? Anyways, let's go and start this video.
Before we get into the meat of this episode, here's a quick mini theory. You know how in February Paramount announced a merchandising deal for the official Sonic shoes with Puma? And how the movie makes you feel all emotional when Sonic replaces his old worn-out shoes with his iconic red pair brought to him by Puma, not so subtly pushing you to buy a pair of new shoes for yourself? Man, wouldn't it be great if advertisers and movies had to, I don't know, disclose that sort of product placement and content targeting younger viewers just like online content creators have to?
Yeah, not going to lie, that would have been
inequality
better.
and governmental regulations aside, sure, this scene might seem like a shameless bit of product placement, but the reality is that Sonic was actually long overdue for a new pair of pumped-up kicks. Most
I didn't notice.
Replacing them every 300 to 500 miles, or 483 to 805 kilometers. And according to competitive runners and coaches, it's rare to get more than 1,200 miles, or 1930 kilometers, out of a solid pair of shoes before they start to fall apart. Now, I bring that up because in our last episode, we calculated that the Blue Blur ran 1,100 miles in that sprint to the Pacific Ocean and back. That, plus the extra miles that he puts on when fighting Robotnik, means that he is well overdue for a replacement pair by the time that they reach San Francisco.
Yeah, how come his shoes not burn out?
Pair of shoes to begin with. So hey, maybe
that
it wasn't just a shameless plug for shoes. Maybe it was just the movie.
Okay, I gotta stop you right there. I've always wondered, how did he not burn his shoes off? I mean, if he can run so fast that if he's able to travel really fast to like go to places, I know he teleported, but still, how does he, if he can run so fast that not only can he, I don't know, run to the Pacific Ocean in a second and come back to that guy, come back to the Donut Lord, or I forgot his name, sorry. If he can come back to that, how does he not burn out his shoes at this rate? I mean, seriously, they must have fireproof shoes. He must have fireproof shoes if he's not gonna burn them out. Then again, he looks kick-ass with those shoes. So I won't start questioning it. Then again, we're talking about his talking head jug. So anyways, enough about me rambling. Let's continue.
Trying to be factually accurate and a shameless plug for shoes. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that, ironically enough, has done more Sonic videos in the last year than our sister channel, Game Theory. Seriously, between doing Sonic videos over here on Film Theory and Marvel Strike Force videos over on Game Theory, it feels like the lines separating these channels are just getting blurrier by the day. So, to say that the Sonic movie was better than expected was an understatement.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure,
really,
it probably
definitely
won't be winning any awards, or heck, who knows at this point. Maybe it will, considering the number of movies with delays or canceled release dates at this point. So heck, it could win some awards just by default. Oscar Best Picture winner for 2020, Sonic the Hedgehog. Anyway, with it coming out for an early digital release,
I have a feeling that it's gonna be nominated for best animation or best CGI or something.
Shoes had holes in them, not them having holes. Obviously, that's perfectly normal. No, what struck me as odd was where the holes were in the shoes. I don't know about you, but every time I've ever worn through a pair of shoes, it's always been in the heel. And yet a huge plot point in the Sonic movie is that he has holes in the toes of his shoes.
Really?
I mean, that's the thing that allows Dr. Robotnik to scan Sonic's footprint and discover that he's dealing with some alien creature. So, is Sonic running wrong? I mean, far be it for me to lecture the Blue Blur on how he ought to be running. He's out there running over 1,000 times the speed of sound, meanwhile I'm here huffing and puffing after more than a light jog.
Yeah, he would
clearly
definitely
doesn't need
beat
to
the
take any running
Olympics
tips
in like
from me,
50
but
seconds at
seriously,
this rate,
is
or more
Sonic going
than
about
one.
this whole running thing all wrong? What is going on here? And what insights does this information give us about Sonic's overall running technique? Could the fastest thing alive actually be faster if he chose to run in a more efficient way? For any other character, we could probably start by looking at his running animation and not have to resort to this kind of observation to get a feel for how they run, but Sonic moves so fast that a 24 frames per second movie ain't gonna be enough for us to capture his full run cycle. I mean, depending on what frame you're looking at here, it looks like Sonic's either heel striking or forefoot striking. Let me explain what I mean by that. In the world of running, there are several schools of thought about the proper way to run. When you run, you can either forefoot strike, landing with
Okay.
the front of your foot hitting the ground first, or you can
Alright.
heel strike, landing with your heel hitting the ground.
I feel like I
The
always
fact
do the
that
heel
Sonic's
strike, to
shoes
be
are
honest.
completely worn through in the toe is highly indicative of the forefoot striking or toe running approach. And
Huh.
you see, that's interesting because that's
Never knew
actually
that.
not the method favored by elite competitive runners.
Really?
Runners who compete to win in marathons mostly prefer the heel striking method. One of the main reasons
Oh,
for
yeah,
that is
they
that
always,
running shoes
jog
have a
like
heel
that
is
in,
specifically
like, the
designed
Olympics or
for that
something.
sort of approach. For instance, take a look at the Nike Vaporfly shoe. You see immediately that the heel part is much thicker, and when resting flat, the toe doesn't even touch the ground. You'd be running with a pretty awkward gait if you tried to land toe first on these sorts of shoes. Looking at the clip again, notice how the runner's heel actually extends out at first, as if it's about to hit the ground, before the runner pulls back and strikes heel first. Simply put, elite runners heel strike because that's what the best running shoes are currently designed for. These kinds of running shoes improve a runner's speed by packing the heel with foam that gives the heel a bit of a bounce, allowing the runner to rebound off the ground better. It's the
Really?
exact same idea behind the
Oh.
Air Jordans that literally have an air pocket in the heel. Much like an
Woo!
inflated
Those
basketball
are
will
good
bounce
some-
better
good
than a flat
ideas.
one, a running shoe heel made of the right materials will give a runner better bounce than if they
Really?
were running with a flat shoe.
Yeah.
Lately, the idea of having air pockets or foam padding in the heels of shoes has gone to extreme levels. Those Nike Vaporfly shoes that I showed you are built with a special Zoom X extra thick foam cushioning, which, according to Nike's calculations, makes runners 4% more efficient.
Wow.
Now, 4% might not seem like that big of a deal, but if you're an elite competitor trying to set a world record, that sort of extra efficiency might be
Yeah,
enough to
definitely.
shave
If
seconds,
someone,
or heck,
who-
even
worth
minutes off
to-
a marathon record time. And you
With
know
to
what?
want to
That's
break a
exactly
full
what
record, they
managed
would
to
definitely
do.
buy those
In
shows
fact,
immediately
that
to help them
4% has caused the Vaporfly shoes to
help
dominate
them
the
more run
competitive
faster
running
a little
world.
bit.
In May of
I don't know,
2017,
shoes,
Olympic
sorry.
runner Eliud Kipchoge ran a marathon using the Vaporfly shoes and set a record of 2 hours, 1 minute, and 39 seconds,
What the
beating the
frick?
previous world record by a whopping 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Really?
That might not
Jesus
sound like all that much,
Christ.
but when you're talking about marathon running times, that is a huge difference from the previous record. In
Wow,
2019, though, he
even though I
broke
can't
the
do that.
record
I can't-
again. This time running the marathon in under 2 hours. His time, 1:59:40. And real quick, can we actually take a moment to recognize how impressive a real live human being running a 26.22 mile marathon in 2 hours is? I mean, that is the equivalent of running a mile in 4 minutes and 34 seconds,
Shit.
and then keeping that pace up for an entire 2 hours. Most of us can't even run a single mile, or heck, even a single lap at that sort of pace.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know there's that
Alright, so I'm gonna be honest. Oh god, I don't even think I can do that. Never. I can never do that. I can never run a mile without being tired. I mean, I guess I can like run almost half a mile and then get a bit of rest from being tired out with all the sweating. And my legs hurting, gonna be honest. I can't even do that. None of that. I swear to God, these people are the most determined people I have ever seen. If they were able to go 2 hours of running under a mile or more than a mile or whatever, it's like, god dang, these people are really efficient in a way. Oh man. Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to it. Sorry for rambling again.
old saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but it almost feels like these people are just straight up sprinting non-stop for 2 hours.
No
It's
kidding.
Sort of performance that would make our buddy Sonic proud. But again,
They must
he
be
did
at
it
a.
wearing those
They must be
vapor
running at an
shoes.
escalator
Just let the
for
entire
like 2 hours
sports
of this
world
rate. They're
ask,
gonna.
Is it the shoes? That sounds like it's a joke or a line from an old Nike commercial.
Did they really?
Is it the shoes? It's gotta be the shoes!
It is a line from an old Nike
Gee,
commercial, but it's
really?
also a very real question that's happening in the sports
Another
world
again
right
is-
now, which has caused
again
the
it was
Vaporfly
90s.
line and the world record marathon time that Eliud Kipchoge set while wearing them to become the center of controversy. According to sports
What?
science journalist Alex Hutchinson on Vox's Recode podcast, which, if you haven't listened to, is actually really fascinating.
The 5 fastest men's marathons in history have all been run in the last 13 months, all by runners wearing Vaporflies. They don't act soon, it's going to be too late because the world records are going to keep dropping, and then they're going to be in a situation where if they try and restrict it, it's like, oh, well then all the times in the last 5 years or whatever have been run on quote-unquote illegal shoes.
Maybe Nike's fears of this sort of controversy are exactly the reason that, when they first started testing the Vaporfly prototype out in real competitions back in 2016, they actually disguised them to look like other types of running shoes. No joke, they were undercover shoes for the first year of their existence. Again,
Really?
Alex Hutchinson during that same podcast.
Once Nike had these prototypes and they were pretty sure that they worked, they started giving out these disguised prototypes that were disguised to look like other shoes. And then at the Olympics in Rio in 2016, the top 3 finishers in the men's marathon were all wearing these disguised prototypes of a shoe that no one had ever heard of. And the winner of the women's marathon was also wearing a disguised prototype of these shoes.
Seriously, how wild is it that people are setting world records with some kind of futuristic ZoomX super foam running shoes that people are talking about banning the shoe for being too good, and that the shoe company is
Really?
actually having to disguise the shoe prototypes to secretly sneak them in
Really
competitions.
sneaky.
The point of all of this is that yes, the shoes do matter, and what the shoes are built for
Yeah,
is
definitely.
heel striking to give yourself
And
that
what-
little bit of extra bounce with each step. If Sonic is forefoot striking or toe running like we see him do, he seems to be giving up a huge advantage. So does that mean that Sonic is actually running incorrectly? Well, not necessarily. You see, all of this comes from the world of competitive running, where people are trying to shave a few seconds off their world record time, and that 4% of extra efficiency matters. But there are some runners who espouse a completely different viewpoint. The
Really?
idea that forefoot striking is actually a better, healthier, and more natural way to run. It's a big part of what drives the push towards barefoot running that's gained so much momentum over the last couple years. People who either choose to run completely barefoot or run in shoes with flat soles and no padded heels specifically designed to simulate a barefoot running feel. A study in the Journal of Applied Physiology examined the force exerted by people running barefoot on a treadmill and found that, when landing on their toes, a graph of the force experienced by the runner's body was a smooth curve. But when heel striking, there was this big spike in the force curve. That spike is not only an unexpected jolt to your body each and every time that you land, a potential cause for injury, but it also interrupts the natural smoothness of the runner. The bounce of the heel striking the ground and the force of the runner pushing off the ground happen at slightly different times, throwing off the actual running motion of the body. For a human
Yikes.
runner, odds are they're not going to notice the difference. But given Sonic's incredible levels of acceleration, he's exerting a lot more force than a normal human runner would. Just some quick back-of-the-napkin calculations here, but reusing some of our numbers from the previous episode, during Sonic's run to the Pacific Ocean, he accelerates at a rate of 491.7 meters per second squared. And
Wow.
if we go with his canonical
Jesus
weight of
Lord.
35 kilograms, or 77 pounds, that means that he's exerting 17,209 newtons of force. That's 3,869
Jesus Christ.
pounds of force, which is
That is so much force for his foot.
53.2 times his own
That would
body
de-
weight.
wouldn't that
Compare
just-
that to the
wouldn't
fact
that injure
human
a
runners
part
take
of
off
his
the
foot?
ground with a force that peaks at about 2.5 times their body weight. Sonic's legs are pushing with more than 20 times more force than a typical runner. And considering that fact, it makes it obvious why Sonic would rather run on his toes and rely on the power of his own legs instead of striking with his heels and feeling that extra bit of jolt every single time his foot lands. So is Sonic running incorrectly? Well, for as weird as the toe holes seem to me, no. It appears that Sonic is running in the easiest, most natural, organic way that a two-legged humanoid can run. Nike, you may not like the fact that
Wow.
I'm broadcasting this
Not
message
gonna
out
lie-
to the
not
world,
gonna
but
lie,
this is
that's
the
kinda
ideal
smart of
running
him.
form. At least if you're a
If
Mobian
he's going
who's
to,
capable of pushing
if
the
he's
ground
going,
over
if
3,800
he's
pounds
if
of
he's
force every
using
time he takes a step.
the
As
other
far as us
footwear
humans, though, keep
footwear
bouncing off your
running,
foam pads,
he
my
would
friends. Or
there
don't,
was
since, you know,
somewhere
we're
in part
supposed
of
to be
his body
indoors
that
right
was
now.
dipping
So just
damage.
watch the Sonic movie again, #with me, because what else is there to do at this point? Play Doom Eternal, I suppose? Anyway,
I never play that game.
Just a theory. A game theory. Nope, it isn't. It's a film theory. Thanks for watching. Also, can I just say how weird it is that the toes of his shoes wore away, but they show the heel of his sock, and that one just so happens to be worn away. I just think it means that socks need to be stronger all around.
Okay, now that is very interesting. Okay, now that was definitely very interesting because in a way it makes sense for him to use the toe way of running, and then instead of depending on the ankle. So apparently he's using the easiest way of running instead of the other way. Not gonna lie, if he's putting too much force and if he's gonna use that much force for his body in his own body weight, I don't know. I'm not good with science. Sorry about that. Anyways, thank you guys for listening, and thank you all for watching. Again, I hope you guys will subscribe, and if you guys want to, make sure to leave a like. Why don't you? All right. Thank you all, and I'll see you all there. Later.